Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Raju. And previous class, we have been gone with respect to the basic introduction part of operational research subject. And in the today's class, we'll be moving on with respect to the operational research classifications. So, before moving on to the classification part, let me discuss why this operational research is necessary, or what is the basic need or scope of this operational research in the present day's field, and apart from the different modifications or implementations that are being done in the industrial basis, in the medical fields, and even in the number of applications that we are implementing these operational research techniques. And it is not only confined to any specific agency, it is used in our DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization, as well, indeed to safeguard the boundary conditions or boundaries of our India, of our country, by providing the advanced technology of weapons to our Indian Army. So in that area, the innovatively this operational research plays a major important role by implementing the techniques, and those will be getting drafted, and drafted will be getting modeled, and after modeling will be passing on to the simulation process. And if the simulation is nothing but the trials, and so if the trials has been commenced okay, then will be forwarded to the manufacturing section. And not only in the mathematical calculations, but indeed to solve the theoretical solutions, or the decision making, logical decision making problems, indeed to solve those kind of problems also, this operational research plays a critical role. Here we see in how many fields, by considering a maximum terminology, these operational research techniques are implementing our national planning and budgeting. So national planning in the sense, the survival planning that is being done for about 5 years of a plan, or else yearly of the plan, and even budgeting also for a 5 year plan. Similarly, the budgeting need to be allocated, and even for year wise plan, the budget will be need to be allocated. Nothing but our financial minister will engage with this activity. Budget will be planned for about the next financial year, and will be placed at the state level, in the sense in the our assembly, or in the central level itself, it is nothing but the parliament. So next, the defense services. Moving on to the defense services. Defense in the sense self-protection. So in the self-protection is nothing but the implementation of different kinds of techniques that has been mathematically aligned, and new technologies incorporation, and those will be implemented in the manufacturing, and will be provided to the Indian Army, just now as we have discussed earlier. Nothing but I'll give a simple example related to these defense services. For example, presently we are having a jet rocket launcher which we are utilizing in the border towards our opponent, that is China, due to the present conditions. And bomb launchers or droppers will be existing to that particular rocket. So upon initiating, it takes time, that is 2 to 3 minutes of time for removing the bomb launcher from the rocket, and fixing the target and next hitting it. So here the mathematical models is nothing but our application of this mathematical model, in the sense decreasing the time of
సార్
launching
ఎవరికి
that
వాయిస్ వినపడలేదు సార్.
dropper.
హలో.
Yes, continue. So in such a way, decreasing of the time, and so instead of launching that particular weapon in 2 to 3 minutes, the advanced technology replacement gives the launching of that particular weapon only in 60 seconds of time. So hence it is being minuting with respect to the time, and upon our opponents we will be taking charge simultaneously within less span of time. So that is a greater advantage or new technical impartation or development, we will be calling as development, that is provided to the defense services. And for this entire that designs need to be modified by taking the already existing design into the consideration. We need to take the advancements and new techniques need to be incorporated, and that has to be solved, and analysis need to be taken, and those analyses should be formulated in a chronological order. Furtherly, with these results we have to manufacture a new weapon, and that weapon need to be installed in the rocket. So this is the activity that is going on simultaneously or endlessly in an iterative process. Nothing but number of analysis processes are going on in the defense services. That is a basic example where the operational research technology or techniques that we are providing upon increasing or implementing new methodologies in the defense services. And moving on to the next one, that is industrial establishment and the private sector units. So industrial developments in the sense, by the incorporation of these operational research techniques, instead of manufacturing 10 different goods in half an hour, by the implementation of new technology, within 15 minutes itself, we will be able to manufacturing this overall 10 different goods. So here 15 minutes of time is being decreasing, and within that 15 minutes we can able to manufacture another 10 more products. Nothing but in the by utilization of previous techniques, we are able to manufacture only 10 different products, but by the incorporation of this new operational research technology, we will be able to manufacture 20 different products within that same time, that is 30 minutes. So it can be installed not only in the government sector, and it can be followed in the private sector also as well. Next one, indeed to commence the above three different techniques, and mainly these two different parameters, defense services as well as these industrial establishment and private sector units, this research and development activity and engineering plays a major important role. So presently we are considering a simple example. In the previous days, indeed to manufacture or install the grills towards our outside corner of our house domestically, iron will be utilized. And when the seasonal variations has been happened, nothing but considering the rainy season, and due to the heavy rain, if that iron has been came in contact with that particular water droplets, then rusting will be getting formed. Nothing but tuppu patadam, rusting will be getting formed, and automatically lifetime of that particular iron grills will be decreasing. So the new technology, that is nothing but research, so many of the researches has been happened upon that particular problem. So instead of overcoming that problem, what we have to do, even in the rainy seasons, if the material has been in contact with the water, that particular timings also what we have to do, that is an plays major role need to be commented here. So changing of the material in the research point of view, changing of the material need to be taken place. Instead of iron we are utilizing, instead of utilizing the iron, changing to the GI sheets, galvan iron. So at many times when it has been interacted with respect to the water, rusting will not be getting formed, and even the lifetime of that particular grills will be increased in nature. So this is an one of the overcoming terminology, and if the research has been got okay, then so this is the major aspect that is being done in the research and development activity considerations. Now we'll be having a detailed look over the national planning and budgeting. So this operational research used for the preparation of 5-year plans. So 5-year plans mainly here considered in the sense the term period of any of the government is 5 years, and hence 5-year plans will be scheduled, and annual budgets yearly how much amount will be invested upon the sustaining or run the government, that is an imposement of the annual budgets, and forecasting of income and expenditure. So here forecasting is a technical word related to the nearest future, and annual budgets in the sense present budget, and forecasting of income and expenditure in the sense nearest future, nothing but next year budget, how much it will be increasing to the present year, and furtherly that next year also. So for example, there is an 2021 an annual budget, 21 to 22 will be one annual budget, and 22 to 23 will be the another annual budget, and this will be increasing with a ratio of 10 to 15 percentage of expenditure or income in the nearest years also, that is forecasting years also. Next, another one, it is scheduling of major projects of national importance. And here national importance in the sense which are very much helpful for the life sustenance of people. Government is nothing but for the people, so it has to spend the major economical can receive or expenditure towards the life sustenance of people. Next, upon that, estimation of GNP, gross national product. So national within the country. So gross national product on average, how much will be invested? That has to be estimated, and even gross domestical products. So gross domestical product in the sense, national product here specifies that the obtained or manufactured goods will be circulated within the country. Domestical products, how much products or how many number of products that we are manufacturing or yielding, and related to the agriculture, producing n number of products, that is wheat, rice, jute, etc. And similarly, different kinds of products are also manufacturing related to the different companies, nothing but clothing, automobile, furniture, plastic sources, wood like of sources, clothes manufacturing, etc. So these and all are will be calculated depending upon the criteria in the GDP. And next one, it is population. So how much population is being increased year by year, that will be calculated, and depending upon the population increment, whether the balancing aspect, nothing but GNP or GDP is related to existing population or decreasing, has to be analyzed. Next one, it is employment. So if the population has been increased and meanwhile similar employment ratio is followed, then in the coming years unemployment rate will be very muchly increasing. So instead of happening in such a conditions, this employment generation also plays a major important role, and that's also will be planned and budgeted. Next one, in depth to the second criteria, that is defense services. So basically these services, defense services, started primarily started by the USA government. And next thing, the accurately development activities and the new technical sources, optimization of cost and time, and these are the parameters that are required indeed to plan for the enhancement of these defense services. And one more point, that is strategy of battle. And upon manufacturing transportation, that is internally within the country or inter country transformation, that is also a basic phenomena need to be followed. And nothing but exporting, we will be calling as an exporting to out of the countries. So that will be coming under the transportation point. And how quality that we are maintaining, that will be coming under the inventory control, effective maintenance and replacement of the equipment. And if there is any malfunctionings commencing in the different kinds of processes while manufacturing, or while the processes are taking place in the industrial sector, then these maintenance activity also need to be analyzed, and supply and depots, etc. And industrial sectors, so effectively used in PAN's location where the new company has to be started, and in which location it has to be started, whether the location is environmentally free or not, we have to analyze. And the finance that we are allocating for plant installation need to be analyzed, both for public and private sector. And products and process planning, which type of products that we are manufacturing, and whether the manufacturing may lead to the development or not, and in what are the different kinds of machining processes that are following, has to be analyzed. And the facility planning and constructions, and production planning and control, in how many ways the production plannings, and without interrupting that particular planning, have to execute, and indeed to execute the minimal containments are existing, and minimal constraints need to be decreased by controlling. Next one, purchasing of the raw materials or materials needed for manufacturing within the installed company. Personal management, etc. will be increasing, etc. will be commencing. And the research and development engineering, moving on to the research and development engineering. Research and development as being the heart of the technological growth. We are already discussed previously that from the public point of view, the analysis need to be taken with a certain points, and to overcome that particular problems from the public point of view, the new schedules need to be taken, and that new schedules should involve the modifications in the present technology implementing. Presently, we are having one program. That program need to be executed with an high efficiency. So nothing but we have to edit the existing program. So nothing but here research in the sense already we are having a one schematical formula, but indeed to get more access, we have to change or edit a particular format for incrementing of that presently productions or any of the increments in the any of the sectors. So that leads to the development. Considering a simple example, when you have been considered our lathe machine process, if in the if a manual process has been involved in it, a single worker can produce 10 to 15 products on a whole day. But when it has been connected to the CNC machinery, then it will be moving on with respect to n number of products. Nothing but it may increase 10 times more than the manual way of producing. So such a kind of techniques will be installed over here. Next, forecasting. Simultaneously, implementation of this technology also will be leads to the developments in the forecasting and has to be evaluated, and overall work need to be drafted, and drafted work need to be simulated. So there is the overall research and development in the engineering characters. And here different methodologies need to be followed in the research process that we will have a brief look. And first one, regular process what is being done in our environment need to be obtained first. That is the orientation. And in that regular basis, what is the problem that has been identified that has to be defined. And for that, indeed to overcome that particular problem, in what way we have to analyze means before what is the process that is being processed has to be analyzed. That is nothing but the data collection. And for impartation of new techniques, what are the additional parameters that we are adding to the existing? That is nothing but model formulation. And after then, upon execution, we will be having a solution to that. And with that solution, the analysis and information will be drafted. And if it has been executed with the expert committee, then the implementation of a production or monitoring will be taking place. So this is the feedback criteria followed in the research design or research orientation. And in such a way, the research characterization need to be followed. And this leads to the implementation of new techniques in the development activity. So what are the different types of techniques that are being executed or existing in the operational research? We will be having a look once here. Linear programming, queuing theory, sequencing, transportation problems, integer problems, assignment problems, decision theory and game theory, replacement problems, and symbolic logics. So these are the different kinds of techniques that need to be exist within the operational process to commence the activity or to solve the particular problem by utilizing these particular kinds of techniques. And the developments also need to be taking place in these particular schedules for updated technology and forecast updating technology, that is nearest future implementation of all to the existing technologies, already existing technologies. So that's the plans for 2 days. We are having only 2 minutes of time. Yes, if you are having any doubts, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. I think only 11 members are present today, and make sure of increasing your attendance for tomorrow. Okay, there's no any doubts. Okay, I have got in the chat box. Thank you. We'll meet in tomorrow's class. If you have any doubts, you can you can write in a paper, and we can discuss it in our next class.